Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series here on Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. And we continue in September. September 8th, 1984 is where we are currently. And there's 4 first run segments plus a review segment. Obviously, we don't cover the review segments, but the first run segments we do. Iceman King Parsons against Kelly Kiniski in our opening first run match here. Relatively basic match. Kiniski still never really found his, I guess I'd say, one-off place in things. Instead, kind of a journeyman guy who goes from match to match, kind of wins some, lose some, never gains any real momentum, but always has I guess you'd say, a compelling chance of winning matches, which you need that in a journeyman promotion, especially when you've only got 20, 25 talents, whatever it is. Parsons, obviously, as mentioned on a regular basis, one of the best examples of a homegrown talent here in World Class, and he continues to be that. He's, quicker and strikes with a little more fire than a lot of the baby faces, which is a good thing. Actually manages to wrestle around on the mat with Kiniski better than imagined. Of course, his father, Gene Kiniski, former NWA champion, so he's got a solid background of submissions and traditional wrestling holds, but obviously Parsons the one providing the excitement, whereas Kiniski probably providing the stability, for lack of a better term. Runs around and up through, does Parsons dodges a tackle in the corner, and Kiniski cheats to throw his man to the outside a bit, and then we see Kiniski eventually, after a few more minutes, hit a surprisingly adroit and successful spinning neck breaker, and that leads to a bit of frustration as we do see a roll-up victory for Parsons, 1, 2, 3, and kind of comes out of nowhere. Kiniski looks a little more miffed than normal. We come back to the program. Chris Adams announces Gary Hart as his new manager, much to the surprise of the viewing audience. Hart said he was looking for talent before, says he wants to be on top, says this is a man that he thinks he can take to higher levels, and the Hart and Adams run probably going to, I assume, turn Chris Adams heel here, but Gary Hart, still with hair, which is just a little bizarre, is looking to be at his best or close to it. Then we move into a tag team match as the Pretty Young Things against Chief Jules Strongbow and Buck Zumhoff. Zumhoff, a guy that gets, a good bit of, I guess you'd say, aggression. There is a music video hyping these guys beforehand, the Pretty Young Things, that is. And, they go through that. The tag team of the Pretty Young Things kind of still hasn't found themselves yet. We saw them last week, I think it was, with Parsons and Young in a reasonable match. Strongbow starts, pretty sure, with Coco Ware, and of course Coco Ware, Norvell Austin making up the Pretty Young Things, and tags off by the baby faces of Strongbow and Zumhoff. Not quite sure where that comes from. maybe there's somebody else that was supposed to come in that didn't. Just that strikes me as a team that comes out of nowhere. Needless to say, the babyfaces do take a good bit of the early part of the match anyway. Coco Ware fires back quite a bit on Jules Strongbow when they're paired off. Strongbow, of course, kind of hasn't really found his full-on term. I think 84, 85 is around the time that Chief J officially retires. So the Strongbow name losing a little bit of cachet over them being tag team champions in the New York area. Attempted cutoff of the ring that is successful by the Pretty Young Things for the first several minutes. And then we see a short knee lift there and kind of grinds the match back down. Slower match than average. I don't know that this particular pairing is a great deal. Needless to say, when Buck Zumhoff makes his way in, the one thing you can say about Buck is he's always going 127 miles an hour, and he goes to bat there and manages to clean house for a little bit. When we finally get the Pretty Young Things alone again with Chief J Strongbow, however, it's not good, as a double team maneuver leads to the victory for the Pretty Young Things. Kind of that shoulder tackle clothesline from the top rope, and the Pretty Young Things get the victory. Then we move into another Von Erich main event, this time Kerry Von Erich against Killer Khan. Of course, Kerry Von Erich, the former NWA World's Champion. They're given maybe about 8 or 9 minutes here. Obviously, not the best match in terms of just presentation, as Khan not good at leading, Kerry not good at leading, so match is a little clunky in the interim. Basic big man, little man match. Kerry still with the exaggerated punches, including but not limited to the discus punch, which Khan they're trying to treat as a big man. Khan does not go down, falls back into the ropes off the discus, which usually everyone else goes down. We then see Khan trying to choke out Kerry Von Erich. Doesn't get all he wants out of that, but gets enough of it. Then we see Kerry go back to the punches and the like, and hits a back elbow for his trouble. We then kind of see the continuation of the war between the two, neither man really getting a great advantage over the other. Meanwhile, Missing Link comes in to interfere. Kerry Von Erich has to deal with him, and there is a disqualification victory there. Kerry is laid out by Link and Khan. Interesting that Kerry Von Erich, of all people, the former world champion, gets beat on for several minutes and does not have a friend to save him, so that's a little odd to me. Anyway, we're going to move to the middle of September, and the way to do that is to continue on with our action here. Suffice to say, that is the end of this week, and hopefully you will join us for the next edition of the World Class Championship Wrestling Review. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.